Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome to this update video on the newest update to Robocraft. The tanks are rolling out. Yes, indeed, this is probably the biggest update, no, sorry, not the biggest update, the best update in my opinion, just because I've been looking forward to it for so long. And there's a few little changes, which I think are going to make a huge difference to the game, and hopefully make a new kind of, style of playing, let's say. Hopefully, if that actually happens. So, you see before you a bit of a monstrosity. I've just been messing around with some of the new parts. I plan on making the biggest freaking robot I can in tier 10. I want it to be huge, and I don't care if it loses. And, of course, I've been using one of the new blocks, which we'll get into in a moment. The new blocks will be after this. One big thing at the moment, one of the big changes is called the hero bonus. And the hero bonus, I think, is so good, and it should have been here since the start of Robocraft. If you die normally in a game before this update, and your team won, it doesn't matter, you were destroyed. Oh well, too bad, you tried your best. But now, with the hero bonus, if you die, and you stick around until your team wins, you get the hero bonus, which is essentially the win bonus. So you still get the bonus RP, because, well, you died, so your team may win. Which makes both glass cannons, which die too easily, and very tanky things which take the pain for our team a bit more viable now, because you still get RP even if you die. So, really big, really happy change there for me. After this, another change, which I think is so damn good and should have been here from the start, is now in the control settings you can now fully rebind keys. Yes, I've always wanted fire to be on my gaming mouse, because that's how I play every other game. I don't click my left button, I always click one of the many side buttons, and now you can, including even joystick options, which I think is amazing. Anyone who plays joystick needs to make a video about Robocraft on a joystick, seriously, so cool. Did I mention as well the tracks look freaking awesome? Okay, yeah, so it says two little changes I think are going to make a big difference. So let's get into the items, shall we? As I say, this is going to be quite a brief overview. I don't want it to go on too long. I just want to give you the basics. So the tracks, my personal favourite item from this whole update. The tracks start at tier 3 and end in tier 10. Yes, you can buy them with tier 3 tokens all the way to tier 10 tokens. And they start big and get freaking huge, as you can see. This thing is amazing in size. It's just ridiculously big. The tier 3 one is, even the tier 3 one is fairly freaking chunky. Let's just, there you go. Just like pops up in difference. So the tier 10, so let's go with tier 3 first of all. The tier 3 has a weapon platform on top and one on the side. It's called the weapon platform, but you can place any kind of block on there, as you can see. Including shields if you're more defensive like me, or any block you can think of. Actually, now I said that, can you put the Telsa blades on there? Or oh, look at that. You know what, I'll put these on, no, I'll leave that on there just so, actually no, I'll put the weaker one on there just so we can test out the Telsa blades on this robot, so I don't need to go into my other robot which actually has them on currently. There we are, so you can have a kind of like side-mounted blade, which is fairly freaking cool looking, I must say. These are tier 9 variation. So yes, as they tier up, as the tracks tier up, you will see more of these weapon platforms appear on the side and on the top. The tier 5 and tier 6 ones are very weird in my opinion, because they have a kind of like dual, there you go, let's put it like that. They have like a dual platform on top, which are so close to each other, I can't see much use of that, other than you can kind of choose where you put the thing. But, yeah, as I say, you can put weapons on there as well, of course. Pop, pop. Obviously this robot isn't done yet, I still need some more RP for my main robots, because, well, it's going to be a freaking beast in size. Because that's the whole point of it, I want to get as big as possible just for a bit of a gimmick. Okay, let's talk about the Telsa weaponry then. So, back to the tracks for a brief moment. The tracks turn slower than regular wheels, and they are slower than regular wheels, but they're a lot more stable, a lot easier to stop with, and you can't really spin out. On top of all that, they're extremely heavy, which weighs you down, and can climb up, you can climb up ramps and such a bit easier than wheels. They have a bit more traction. The big con is when you're turning and moving forward, they are extremely slow and your turning circle is terrible. Generally, you'll have to stop still to turn quickly. You can just have one track. Just putting out there, you can only have one track. I only have, as in one on each side. I only have 2 purely for aesthetic reasons, which slows me down even further while I'm turning. So when you see me turn in a second, it's not just because the tracks are terrible, it's because my robot is inefficient. But again, I'm making this just for looks. I don't really care too much about winning or losing. I'm not that kind of person. I'm a very defensive player. I want a huge robot. I'm happy with how it is. Now that the Tesla weaponry is weird. Okay, I'll put 1 tier 9 on there. As you can see, it has 2 beams. When you hit an enemy, that beam is permanently destroyed. So that one there is gone. The cost of these is very little in CPU, but the damage output is astonishing. You will one-shot so many things with these weapons. The tier 10 blade, so the outermost blade, will deal 47,000 damage. The middle blade, or the outer blade on tier 9, deals 38,000, and then finally the tier 8 only deals 28,000. I say only, that is the equivalent. Let's see, a tier 10 plasma only deals 17,000. You can imagine the amount of damage these things do. You simply have to touch an enemy and you blow up. It's really that simple, and it's bloody brilliant. And I can't wait to see little flying robots with these attached. I want to see anti-air Telsa weaponry. And of course, you can see you can use it in addition to ones you already have. Oh, and of course you can also do this. Yay! You can put them in any angle you want. There's almost no limitations, whereas the tracks can only be placed sideways. You can't place them like this. You can only place them on their side. Well, I guess they're upright, but, you know, on the side of your robot. And that's it. You can't place them on the back, can't place them on the front. They're very rigid in their rules. So, is there anything else I really want to talk about before I go? Oh yeah, so Telsa weaponry is tier 8, tier 9, tier 10. As you can imagine by the fact they're tier 8, tier 9, tier 10. So you need to be tier 8 plus to actually get access to them. I don't think I'll use them too much, although seeing them as like side things like this is pretty darn cool. Although I will probably go back to using a shield. So yeah, that's just about it for the new items and the new rules. Also, B no longer brings up this menu unless you want to hotkey it, which I will. This is now back to being tab like it used to be. So let's go into practice, and I'll show you just what it looks like in action. Hopefully one of the enemies will get close enough I can actually bash them with my laser. My Telsa. I'm sorry for the coughing and a bit of bad throat. I am not very well today. My health has took a dive for the worst. As you can see, I'm pretty big. So let's just find any old enemy, anyone. Oh, there's one over there, she's stuck, so I'll go and say hi to him. Also, I do love is if you bash into like a inanimate object, you'll see sparks flying from your Tesla or Telsa again. When it comes to pronouncing that word, I think both are viable because there's so many different variations depending on your accent and your locale in the world. You were here? Oh dear, it's going to take a while, isn't it? Come to me, friend, please. I bet. Okay, good. There's 2 here, so we're going to go and say hello to them. As you can see, it's pretty darn slow. The tracks are definitely slower than wheels. There's no doubt about it. Even when you've got low weight, thrusters do not help, just like with wheels. Well, just like in some cases of wheels. So really, again, turning circle is terrible unless you stand still. But they are very hardy. Actually, that's one thing I did forget. I'll have a look at the armor values in a second. Hello, Gary. Now, Gary, don't be rude. We need your body to test on. This is the problem. We put mine on the side. Okay, goodbye then. Ooh, boom. You do sometimes take damage, depending on how the explosion happens, by the way. But as you just saw, the weapon is now gone. You cannot get that back. I don't believe you can get it from medics, but I could be mistaken. I am under the impression you can't. I've been told you can't. However, I have not yet practiced with them, so I could be incorrect with that. Just bear that in mind. So I absolutely adore this personally. I love the new form of movement. I love how smooth it is. You can stop instantly. So rails, I'd imagine, will have a fun time with tracks. Although you are slow, so less maneuverability. Maneuverability versus defense. Personally, I'm a very defensive player, so for me, of course, defense will be the main thing. So yeah, it's just about it for gameplay. As you can see, you have very little troubles transversing almost any terrain. Let's go down here, just so we can try and get back up. Oh, we just got... Okay, this is the problem being so big, though. As you can see, I'm far too big. This design is absolutely terrible, and we've got ourselves jammed. But honestly, if you had just 2, you'd have no trouble getting up and down. Or if you were thinner than this robot... Ooh, showing off the sparks, at least. Again, you'd have no trouble. A bit of an embarrassing thing there. I thought it was a lot wider than it was, so that was just an issue of I couldn't fit in there. But you can get up and down surfaces a lot easier than wheels. Unless your wheels are very, very fast. I want to see wall climbers with tracks and... thrusters soon, I demand it. So, last little thing then, we'll have a look at the armor values. Just like and also a price comparison. So if you wanted wheels, this is about, they've got the same kind of ratio the whole way through, so I'll just be keeping the tier 3 as the example. In the tier 3 wheel, it will cost you almost 700 RP. For the track, it will cost you 935, but bear in mind, at minimum, you could have 2 tracks. That's it, and that would work. That would actually work okay. I wouldn't say it worked perfectly. I mean, actually, no, it would have worked absolutely fine. So yeah, you could have just 2 tracks. So at most, you're looking at 4 tracks. You wouldn't really want more than 4. Of course, you can if you really want to go adventurous, but generally speaking, either 2 tracks or 4 tracks is what you want. So the cost, of course, you'll definitely want more than more than 4 wheels. So the cost will actually be in the track's favour. Armour-wise, it's 1.5k versus 400. So armour-wise, there's a much higher armour value in the tracks. So it's cheaper and has a much higher armor value, but of course it's a much bigger target. I mean, look at that. That thing is huge. It is truly massive and a very easy target indeed. If you want to kill it, it's fairly easy to. So yeah. That's just about it. Again, if this one got hit, rather than like this one got closed, it would simply remove that line. I'm not sure if you can repair them using a medic, but I am keen to see if you can in the future, and if you really want to, you can even have a mohawk on your robot. So that's just about it. Oh, no it isn't. I'll show you one last thing. There's 2 new robots in the robot shop, which is the Rollin Out, which is a little baby tank with 4 tracks. As you can see, it looks really nice in my opinion. That's a robot I probably would have bought if I was new to the game and had a few galaxy coins. And we also have this, which actually is quite cheap for how good it looks. Oh, that's why, because it comes with no premium. That's weird, it always comes with premium. So this is the Electrifying. As you can see, it's a very, very quick robot with tier 8, tier 9? Yeah. No, just pure tier 8 Telsus all over it. So as you ram things, it explodes, everyone's happy but the enemy. So, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, Sir and Sirs. I hope you have found this somewhat useful. I know I'm going to be having a lot of fun with this robot. I will be posting a Robo video later today or tomorrow with this finished design. It'll probably be a little bit smaller than it is, which is a shame, but oh well. Yeah, hope it helped. If it did, a comment and a like really are welcome. If you haven't subscribed already, feel free to do that. There's more Robocraft videos in the description below. It has the links, and I've been doing Robocraft videos almost every day for the last few days. So thank you very much, Sir and Sirs, for watching, and goodbye. And please have a nice day. And make some awesome designs. I demand to see them.